Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another epic conversation. Today, I'm really excited. I've got a MLS Cup champion today, people. Yeah, we've got winners in the building. He's all the way in the States playing for New York City. And yeah, man, without further ado, like I said, I'm really excited to jump into this conversation. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of nuggets and a lot of inspiration as well. And before we start, actually, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get out this conversation to everybody that you feel that might need it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Today, I've got my main man, Tony Rocha. Welcome to the podcast, my bro.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Nah, no issues, man. We're talking a little bit off air. MLS Cup champion. How does that feel, man?
Feels amazing. Feels amazing. Like I literally can't put it into words. I know now, like you just did, anytime I get introduced somewhere, it's always going to have that in front of my name, MLS Cup champion.
Mm.
So it's an amazing feeling.
No, I can imagine, man. And I was saying to you as well, fair. I was watching the highlights. I can't stay up and watch you guys' matches, man. It's too early, it's too late. So I had to watch the highlights. And what an incredible match. You know, last minute goes by Portland Timbers, then a penalty shootout as well. What what
Hmm.
was what was the feeling like within the team during the match? Like talk us through what was the emotions like?
Yeah. Well, going into the match, we were definitely confident. I think whenever we go in as underdogs, I don't know, we have that like the feeling that we can overcome this and we can do well. Like playing away at Portland, probably one of the best environments to play in MLS. Their stadium was sold out.
Yeah.
So going into it, we were excited. And we knew that we had a good chance of winning. And then, like you said, they scored in the last probably like 10 seconds
Mm,
left in the game.
yeah, yeah.
I was actually on the bench and took off my coat because I was ready to go celebrate. Like we were all ready to go celebrate before they scored, and they scored. Now we're going to extra time. And I think whenever they scored, we were kind of, I won't say defeated, but we were definitely down a bit. We
Hmm.
were seconds away from winning MLS Cup, and now we have to play an additional 30 minutes, potentially PKs. So that kind of changed our mindset a little bit. But going to extra time, I think our captain did a really good job of kind of bringing the team together and kind of focused for the rest of the game.
Yeah, incredible scenes. Like just
Yeah.
watching it, I had goosebumps myself. I was thinking, wow, like the nerves as well that you have to have when you're stepping up for a penalty, especially the last
Hmm.
penalty to win the game. Um, there's a lot of nerves. What was the bench like? You said you was on the bench. What was the emotions like on the bench? Like you said, you took off your jacket, you was ready to celebrate. You know, there's a lot of
Yeah.
highs and lows. That's a good. Let's talk about that as well in terms of getting ahead of yourself maybe a little bit. How do you handle those emotions on the bench when you're thinking that you've won and now you have to go to PKs?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was like we were all ready to celebrate. We were just like huddling around, like grabbing each other, like we just won them. Let's cut this and that. And as soon as they scored, it's like okay, mindset shift. Like
Yeah.
now we got to prepare. We got to go warm up again. We got to get ready to because we might be on the pitch. So it was that
Mm,
like instant turnaround that we had to do, like from being super excited to now focusing on potentially playing and getting that mindset and focus to play.
yeah, yeah. Now this is something that I always talk about. When I'm coaching actually youngsters, it's important to be adapt. You have to adapt to the game. You're not always going to be winning. You might not always be losing, but it's about how you adapt to the game, and it's that mindset which is very very important. And congratulations to you guys. You guys held on and made history. Made history. You know,
Yeah.
winning the first cup for the club as well. So incredible scenes, like I said. Hopefully one day I'll be able to experience coming out there. Hopefully once this pandemic that's been going on. Let's hope that happens soon, man. But let's talk about a little bit about your journey, Tony. Where did it all start for you? Where did the love for football come from? Where was your first interaction with football, and when did it start becoming a profession for you?
Yeah, well, I think like many people, I started playing soccer or football when I was around like 5 or 6. My family just threw me into it to kind of get all of my energy out and stuff. And so I played
As
with
you
my
do.
brothers. Yeah, so I played with my brothers growing up, and then just really liked it from then. Probably when I started, it's called select over here.
Hmm.
So like around 10 or 11, I started playing on a select team, and we traveled a little bit and kind of was playing that. And I was one of the better players on my team, and I guess from there, people were just telling me like you should stick with it, you should play with it, and then maybe you can go on to college and then play pro. And so from there, it was just I guess, studying soccer, playing as much as I can. And then, yeah, that helped me go pro.
Oh, brilliant, man. And when you say select, is that a group of players that, get selected, as in, you're in the same sort of level?
Yeah, it's like, I guess, a club team.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
where these coaches can kind of recruit players now
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
to be on the team and stuff. And so there's a lot in Houston, where I grew up. And so I was just playing around there and then traveling to different cities within Texas to play.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant, man. The soccer's growing so much in America, man,
Yeah.
which we was talking about a little bit off air. Um, was it cool to play soccer when you was younger?
No,
No?
I remember it was like just beginning. The league actually only started in '96 here in the
Yeah.
U.S. and I was born in '93. So I think when I first started playing soccer, the league in the U.S. had only started a couple of years.
Yeah,
So like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
not many people knew. There wasn't really many televised games. A lot of the games that I guess I watched growing up were in Europe, the Premier League. Like that was my goal whenever I guess wanted to play pro, was to go play in Europe. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't to
yeah,
go to
yeah, yeah.
college. It wasn't to play in the MLS. It was I want to go play in Europe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, now we're kind of seeing, the emergence of the talent that's coming through the USA. We've seen a lot of youngsters, Pulisic being one of them, McKenna at Juventus. So there's a lot of talent that's coming out from America, and rightly so. It's a huge population. Your facilities are great as well. What would you say in terms of these youngsters that are coming through? Do you feel like it's more sort of coaching has developed more, or the facilities have helped? Like, why do you think a lot of these players are coming into Europe now as before there wasn't?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of things. I think with the growth of soccer, there's many more clubs, so a lot more kids are being recruited to play soccer, and some
Mm,
that maybe fell through the crack in the previous years are now being, um, I guess, seen in those clubs, as well as I think with MLS academies now starting and kind of
mm,
having kids from like a young age to be in that environment on a daily basis is kind of helping them grow and to be able to like watch the first team occasionally and kind
hmm.
of have their, I guess, eyes set on that. Like that's where I want to be and
Yeah,
to
yeah.
have, yeah. So I think maybe that's a little bit of the difference that now than it was in the past before.
Incredible, incredible. Is there any youngsters that we should keep an eye out, that if you was to put your money down and say this is the player that's going to come through next? Is there anyone that we need to keep an eye out?
Let's see for New York. I mean, I would say right back Tavon Gray. I think he's only 18, 19.
Okay.
Um, and he got the start towards the end of the season because our starting right back went down and he went in there and did extremely well. So I know he has
Mm.
a lot of confidence going into the season, and I know his ambitions are to play in Europe. So he's definitely one to keep an eye out for.
All right, all right. We'll keep an eye out on him. There you go, people. You
Yeah,
heard it first from Tony.
yeah.
Um, So let's talk about a little about getting into the MLS. What was that like? The process, I guess, is a little bit different to Europe. You lot have more of
Mhm.
like a draft system.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us, how does that work if someone's looking to move to the States, if that was possible, maybe go through a college system. Like how does it
Mhm.
work to become a pro for an MLS club?
Yeah. So the way I got I guess recruited to MLS was I went to college and I played 4 years there, and then like you said, they have the draft system. So they
Mm,
would select, I think it was like 40 or 50 seniors to go to a combine, and then from there then select the MLS draft, and they
mm.
draft players that I guess they think they'll do well on the team.
How many? So you said 40 to 50 out of how many players?
Oh, I guess thousands of
Whew.
senior players. I don't know how many it is, but it's a small percentage that gets selected to the MLS
Mm,
combine. So
mm,
um, I actually didn't get selected the first list that was sent out. And then they sent out the final list, and I think I was added to that list, but I had fractured my collarbone
oh
before
wow.
at like another combine, so I wasn't able to go to the MLS combine
Okay.
with it. Yeah, so that was a little frustrating at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe like my dream not coming true, I won't be able to perform out there and stuff. But luckily, I was still able to get drafted by Kansas City, and so I was able to go out there for a week or so,
Hmm.
and they didn't end up signing me, and so I ended up signing with the USL team, which is the second division here.
Okay.
It'd be like the championship
Hmm.
in England, and
Hmm.
so I signed with that team and played there for a year before being picked up by another USL team in Orlando, their second
Mm.
team, Orlando City B,
Okay.
and then signed with the first team the year after, and have been in MLS ever since.
Wow, man. So this is something again that people don't realize. The journey is real. It's not a straight road. I mean, some people are lucky enough to kind of have a clear pathway, which is hardly ever, to be honest with you. There's always a story. There's always a journey. Now you spoke about broken collarbone. How long was you out for?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. So it's in terms of having an injury, not getting drafted at first and then getting drafted secondly, and then going to Kansas City and not being able to sign for Kansas. Like, what was that like? What was that moment like? Talk to us about your emotions. Like, what was going through your head?
Yeah. So the USL team that went to Austin, they were actually, this was going to be their first year as a professional club, like second division. So the coach before was like, we would want you to come here and play with us in Austin. This was before I got drafted by Kansas City, but I was like, I don't want to play second division. Like, I know I'm good enough to play first division. So that was kind of my, I guess, decision that to make going to Kansas City was, do I potentially stay here and know if I can play in the MLS, or go play in Austin and go play out there, develop, play games, and then use that as a stepping stone to get to MLS. And talking with a lot of people, they just suggested that I don't want to get lost in Kansas City. I think at that point they were one of the best teams in like the MLS, and I don't want to go there and not develop. Like, I think I was 21, and they're like, at that age, you need to be playing games on a regular basis. So they're like, if you have the opportunity, go to Austin. And that was probably one of the best advice that I've gotten. So went to Austin, played majority of the games, and was able to develop and get better. And then that's how I was able to get seen by Orlando City.
Oh, incredible. And again, this is something that I always try and speak to young players when they ask for advice. It's not always where you're at. It's about the game time, because if you're good enough, people are going to see you anyway, which is important about, having that consistent games when scouts are watching or managers are watching. They want to see how many games did you play within the season? Did he play 30, 40? How much injuries did he have? And especially now with all the stats that's come into play, especially in America, I guess you guys are a lot stat-based, right? So it's important. It's important. So you went to you had your game time in Austin. After that, you went to was it
Orlando City?
Orlando. Okay.
That was like their USL team.
Okay, and what was your experience like over there? So you've moved away from home.
Yeah, moved away from home.
How was
Orlando
that?
City. Luckily, there was another player on the Austin team that I guess went with me to Orlando City, so that was an easier transition there. But it was just exciting to be in that locker room, or I guess that environment, because we trained at the same facility that the MLS team did. So just being in that environment on a daily basis, like I said before, it was motivation to want to be there and to want to be in that locker room and sign with the MLS club.
Amazing. Throughout that journey, so before you got into the MLS, what would you say is the biggest lesson that you learned throughout that journey?
I would say the biggest lesson was there are going to be setbacks, but to stay confident and to be, I guess, your own advocate. Like, if you're not confident, if you don't believe in yourself, no one's going to. Like, regardless of how bad you think it's going to get or it has gotten, continue to have that mindset that you're good enough to play and be there and stuff. So it'll get you through.
100%. Like, speaking from experience as well, there were times where I felt like giving up. Football's an opinion-based game. I had managers, saying I'm not part of their plan, injuries. So there's many factors. Did you ever have a time where you felt like, you know what, this is not for me? Was there ever a time where you felt, nah, I don't think I'm going to make it?
Yeah, I would say in college was definitely that time. I remember, I think it was my second or third year there, and the coach came up to me, and I played midfield, center mid, and the coach came up to me and was like, we have injuries in the back line. We're going to need you to play left back. And I never played left back in my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to play there. That's going to be defending most of the time. And like, I want to get forward and I want to be in the box. I want to do all that stuff. And it was just frustrating, I guess, that transition from playing left back. And then I played that for a little while. And then he moved me to center back. And that was like, I'm not going forward there.
Yeah.
And it back. And so that was a period, maybe for like a couple months, that I was like, I'm not having fun with this anymore. Like, I don't know if this is what I want to do after college. And yeah, so that was probably a rough patch
I hear you. I hear you.
to my soccer career.
No, definitely. I definitely agree with you. Would you? Well, nowadays the fullback position, we've seen what
Yeah.
Man City are doing, and Liverpool with their fullbacks, and they've become prized assets to teams at the moment. So the game has definitely changed. Would you say playing those positions that you had to cover? Would you say that helped you to become a well-rounded player as you are now? Like, would you say that that's helped you to improve as a player?
Oh, definitely. Like, I'm extremely grateful that I was able to do that in college. Because now in the MLS, like, I played many games in many different positions, not just center mid. So I know that's an attractive quality that coaches like to see, someone who's versatile and to be able to play different positions. So I'm definitely grateful that I was able to, I guess, learn that in college and grow as a player.
No, it's important. It's important to as a manager, you need players that you can rely on. And nowadays we've seen, a lot of players are able to play different positions. So again, something that I relate back to young players. It's important to play in different positions as you develop. It doesn't necessarily mean that you will be a left back or a centre back as you played, but it helps you to see the game in a different perspective. And also develop as a player.
Yeah.
Moving forward as a player, what would you say is your favorite coaching style? Do you have a preference? Do you have a coach do you prefer working with a coach that's a little bit more reserved or more hands-on? What's your outtake on coaches?
I would say maybe someone who's a little more reserved with it. Someone who's, I guess, tells us what to do and like film. And then we go out there in the game and training, and like he just lets us play. Like, he knows that, I guess, we're taking the information in and just lets us play and kind of figure it out for ourselves on the field.
It's changed a lot. The game has definitely changed a lot compared to back in the days where it's a little bit more command, like it was a bit like army based, whereas now the game has definitely changed, but there's still room for that. I guess some players do need to be told what to do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Who would you say is your favorite manager that you've worked with so far?
Ooh, I'll probably say Dome Torrent. He
Okay.
was there my first year in when I was in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a little bit of that reserve. Like he there's a structure building out. What we had was like, this is, I don't want you guys to move from here. This is positional. This is how you guys are going to build out. Once you get past this line, do whatever you want. Like, you guys are here for a reason. You guys are creative, this and that. Like, go play. And that's what we did, and we did really well that season.
No, amazing. That's funny. Yeah, that's a good point actually, where you kind of need a balance of both. I'm finding that as well, from transition from a player to a coach now as well. Trying to find that balance. Things have changed. A lot of youngsters are, on their consoles 24/7. Playing computer games. So it's trying to more so tap into their world as well. Growing up, did you ever have any distractions off the field?
Definitely.
Yeah. And how did you handle it?
Who weren't playing, friends that weren't playing soccer, or maybe that were on the team, but their focus wasn't trying to go pro. They were definitely dragging me to do other things or distracting me and stuff. And even going into college, like, a big distraction was just like the party life of college. Doing that, like, that was definitely a distraction. And I guess I handled it by just having the right people around me. I know it's easy to kind of give into those temptations, but having the right people around you to kind of guide you and help you, I guess, guide each other in the right direction is definitely something that I'm grateful for.
Nice, important, man. I remember growing up, I wanted to go to college so badly in America because I used to see the films and things like that. Like, is it really like that as they show us in the films, or is it
not
different?
As crazy? There might be some schools that are like that, but not as crazy as that. Yeah.
No, it's cool. Again, this is something that players do get distracted. We've seen many players that have got the talent, but off the field stuff kind of takes things away from them, you know, from the hard work and things like that. Talk to us about your routine before you got to the MLS. What would you be doing anything extra off the pitch? Like, you know, as we know, football is a or soccer, should I say, as they say in the States, it's a game of margins. You know, it's little things that make the big difference. Talk to us about, was there anything in particular that you did before leading up to the MLS, training wise?
Yeah, I don't think I started kind of with that extra 1% daily until maybe like my junior or senior in college.
Okay.
Like I really started focusing on what I ate because I knew that kind of affected me on the field and like recovery and all that stuff. And I really didn't start, I guess, learning about that stuff until that age. So whenever I went to Orlando, a couple years after I left college, is when they had a nutritionist on the team, and that's when I really focused on nutrition, asking her a bunch of questions and what do I need to do to sleep better? Like, what do I need to eat? How is this going to affect me? And this and that, and just asking those questions and kind of taking that on board. And so now a lot of my routine is just foam rolling, stretching, doing a lot of recovery stuff, making sure I get the proper sleep. How do I do that? Like make sure the room's cold, complete darkness. I have blue light glasses, so anytime I'm like watching TV or on my laptop before I go to sleep, I have those on. Yeah.
Okay.
And I recently had a Whoop. I don't know if you've heard of.
No.
It's a wristband that you wear that kind of tracks your heart rate, like your workouts and stuff, and your sleep. Like it's used for sleep to see how your body like responds to different activities during the day and what you need to do to kind of increase your sleep. So
amazing.
Those little things, yeah. I think it's cool with technology getting better. I guess there's going to be a lot more products out there to help professional athletes kind of use that as an advantage.
How many hours do you get sleep? Because right now I've been having problems, Tony, with the sleep. I'll tell you that. How many hours you getting?
I try to do 8 during the season. Yeah.
Okay.
But I maybe average like 7.5. But I try to get 8 minimum. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So the Whoop. Is it Whoop? You said the wristband.
Yeah, it's Whoop. Yeah.
Whoop. Yeah. So in terms of that, does it give you the data afterwards? Like, do you have an app for it, or how does it work exactly?
Yeah, there's an app with it, and it shows you like your heart rate variability. Like there's different stages of sleep, so then it shows like what stages of sleep and how long you were in those stages, and kind of gives you like hints about, I guess, how to increase the different stages of sleep and stuff. So.
Okay, no, brilliant. So again, like you said, the technology these days, there's no excuses, you know, and these are the things that, you know, we've seen Cristiano Ronaldo at the age that he's at. He doesn't have to prove anything to nobody, but he's still, you know, investing in his body, and I'm sure he's got technology like you just mentioned as well. So it's important. It's important. When it's the holiday festive seasons, as you can see, I've still got the Christmas decorations, people.
Yeah.
How is your eating like? Do you kind of not let loose, but do you kind of indulge a little bit more, or do you still try and stay as focused as you can?
No, I think I'm focused throughout the entire season, that it's good for me whenever holidays come around for Thanksgiving over here in the U.S. and then especially Christmas, to enjoy time with family and not really worry about what I eat to an extent. Like I'm not overindulging and stuff, but for I think it's been 2 or 3 weeks that I'm off, that I really don't care about what I eat and just enjoy time with family.
Yes, Tony. You having the Christmas puddings, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, have cookies and ice cream and
love it. I had a brownie and some ice cream the other day for Christmas. Yeah, you gotta let loose. Sometimes, you know, it's important to kind of have a balance. And like you said, throughout the whole season, you're disciplined anyway. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, you gotta enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? You gotta enjoy it. So no, it's important. Definitely. It's important. So you said, you know, you're leading up to. So sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. So after Orlando, did you make the move to New York City after that?
Yeah, so I had the end of the year meeting. I had 1 year left on my contract, and they were like, "We're not going to pick up your option. So then we're going to look to trade you." And then so New York was the one that traded for me, and then I moved to New York and played there for 3 years.
So how does the draft actually work, Tony? Like, if you can just explain it to us, some listeners might not understand how the draft works.
Yeah. So it's weird because even if you do get drafted, you're not guaranteed a contract in
Okay.
MLS.
Okay.
So I don't really know the rules on why that is or the
Mm-hmm.
rules behind it and stuff, but they're able to draft you and then they can like decline to give you a contract. And I guess now you're out of luck
Oh
with the
wow.
team. And yeah, so it's a little bit, I think maybe only a few players get pre-contracts going to the draft. So they know if they get drafted, they're going to have a contract for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
the rest, it's still like a glorified tryout, I guess is what you can call it.
Wow. 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 That's so that puts a lot of uncertainty in terms
Yeah.
of where you're at. You know,
Hmm.
like you have to really, really be on point with trying to get a contract. Some people will be like, why would you choose such an industry, where nothing
Yeah.
is guaranteed?
Hmm.
So when you went to New York after that, what was the conversation like with the coaches? Did they say that you're gonna play, or did they say you have to work to earn your place?
Yeah. It was definitely like you're gonna have to work to earn your place. I
Hmm.
remember when I first got there, I didn't play for the first maybe like month or month and a half and stuff.
Hmm.
And then after that, just I guess proving myself in training and any like scrimmages that we had at the training facility, and I was able to kind of break my way into the team. And ever since
Hmm.
then I did well that season, playing regular minutes with the first team.
And during that time, did you have any senior players that will come and support you, or was it like you was left by yourself?
No, there's a couple senior players that definitely were helpful in that aspect of
Mm-hmm.
like helping me kind of adjust and kind of giving me that confidence boost that I can play.
Mm-hmm. No, it's important to kind of be open as well, and
Hmm.
take the criticism or take some advice. How was that like in terms of was there any criticism from the manager or players or anything like that, and how did you handle it?
I mean, yeah, there's always criticism during the
Yeah.
year. And I think it's like I said before, just knowing that they only want the best for you. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever they're saying or however they're saying it, they want you to become a better player and not really taking it personal and just kind of taking that advice on board was something that I needed to work on it and definitely has been, I guess, better over the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm. No, it's important. It's important, man. So you said you've been there for 3 years.
Hmm.
3 years. How's your time been at New York City so far?
It's been a lot of fun. Like I've loved New York, living in New York, and I've loved playing in New York
Mm-hmm.
as well. Like the group of guys that we had in the locker room has probably been one of the best locker rooms I've been in this past season. So I've really enjoyed my time there.
Amazing. Was you there when Pirlo was coach, or you
No,
just missed it?
yeah, I just missed it. I think it was a couple of years before I got there.
Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, New York's had some good players coming through, and obviously they've had Lampard, Pirlo. Who's the main star, would you say, in New York City right now?
Tati Castellanos this year, he had a breakout
Yeah.
year. He was a golden boot over here, and I
Okay.
say he's probably the
Yeah.
star player that we have.
No, amazing, amazing. And like you said, there's talent coming through the club as well.
Hmm.
What's the goals for you for next season? As you said, pre-season's coming up. How before we
Hmm.
get into that, how do you prepare for pre-season?
They sent us an off-season workout packet, so
Mm-hmm.
just follow along with that. Do a lot of lifting, do a lot of running, and then just pick up whenever I can.
Oh, amazing, amazing. And yeah, in terms of for next season, what's your goals for next season individually and as a team as well?
I would say individually would be to break into the starting lineup,
Mm-hmm.
play or start many more games that I did this year, and that's probably like my number one goal.
Mm-hmm.
That to stay healthy all season, do as much as I can to stay healthy all season, and then as a team would be definitely to win MLS Cup again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Retain
Definitely,
that.
that's all.
Retain that.
Yeah.
100%, 100%. And yeah, people, if you don't know already, I've got my top on. Yeah, New York right there. I've got it on. I had to support the boy. 100%. It's important to have goals as well. And in terms of goal setting, is this something that you do on your own, or do you speak to coaches, or do you speak to certain people? How do you kind of set these goals?
Yeah, definitely on my own.
Okay.
I do a lot of journaling every morning,
Oh,
and so
wicked.
just the constant reminder of the goals that I've set or what I need to do to get there. So that's something that I kind of do on my own.
Ah, brilliant, brilliant. That's funny that you said, have I got it here? I don't think I've got it here. My mind journal. No, I don't have it here, but I actually do journaling myself as well every single morning. So it's called a mind journal. And it gives you activities every single day to kind of go through and things like that. So it's really, really important. I felt like it's helped me as well in terms of staying focused, you know, a reminder of my goals, and also just a reminder of my emotions and feelings as well. Because, you know, living in a fast-paced city like New York, London, it's, you know, 24/7. You don't really get a chance to, you know, take a seat or, you know, actually understand what's been happening. So how's it helped you in terms of journaling?
It's kind of set the mood for the day every day. Like whenever I wake up, like you said, it's kind of the only alone time that I have, and that's quiet when the city is not really awake and moving and stuff. So just having that little time to kind of set my goals for the day, set what I need to do for the day, and kind of just that constant reminder of affirming what I want to be and where I want to be.
No, definitely, and like you said, New York City as well. How is it living out there? How is it living in New York? Is it much of a soccer city?
I wouldn't say so. I think with the other big sports leagues that we have here and the big teams and the history of some of the teams in New York, there's a lot of basketball, football, even hockey fans. So trying to switch some of those fans over to soccer.
Well, the MLS Cup, that was a big crowd. I was, you know, and that's a big crowd there that's coming in, and you know, we've seen the emergence of new teams like Inter Miami coming through, and you know, the league is growing continuously. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fans that will be converting or just adding another sport to their week, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully. Like I know we don't. The reason we have the schedule the way we do is to not compete with those other big leagues. So I'm hoping we can, with the coverage that we had this year, there can be more fans in the stadiums next year.
100%. So yes. How does the season work out? So you start preseason in January, and then when do you guys finish?
We'll start playing in February, regular season, and then I think the season ends November 6th. Will be the MLS Cup final.
Okay.
Next year.
Okay, so it's it's pretty good season, and then alongside that you have the other major sports that will be playing in between or afterwards, I guess. So nice, incredible. Before we kind of wrap things up, I wanted to ask a few quick fire round questions for you. Pretty straightforward. I'm sure you'll answer them easily. First one up, your favorite moment in football.
Ooh, favorite moment would definitely be running on the field after we won the MLS Cup, 100%. Yeah, it's a recent memory, but it's definitely the best memory.
Champions, you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. Your favorite player, or should I say the best player that you've played with?
So that I played with is Kaká in Orlando. I know he was, he was definitely older by then, but still, like whenever he turned it on during games and stuff, he would just blow by players super easily.
Ooh, that's a big name that you just threw out there, Tony. You know that Kaká, that's Ballon d'Or winner right there. Like, what was so, you know, just being around, I guess, his presence. That I'm sure you've observed and you know absorbed a lot of information from him. What would you say is the most valuable lesson that you kind of took from him?
Was just how he took care of himself. At the age that he was at, whenever I walked into the training facility, he was there with the physical therapist, just doing work and taking care of his body, doing ice baths after training, and just I guess how he carried himself as a professional player.
And what was he like as a person? Would he be inclusive, or was he, you know, quite big time?
He was inclusive. He was probably one of the most humble players I've played with. To be, like you said, a Ballon d'Or winner, play at some of the teams that he did, and then come to MLS and have that same humility was cool to see.
Yeah, nice, amazing. He did actually play. He came to London for, I think it was like an Adidas shoot or something like that. And there's a few of my friends that played along with him as well, and they said the same thing. He was just down to earth and just easy guy to kind of get along with. But that's a big name there. That's probably one of the biggest names that we've had in the podcast actually, and we've had some big ones. But Kaká, that's a serious player. Big player. Right, next one for you, Tony. Hardest player that you've played against?
Sebastian Giovinco.
Oh,
Whenever
another
he
one.
played in Toronto, I
Mm.
remember guarding him, and he was so shifty,
Mm-hmm.
so shifty. You give him a couple of yards of space, and he's banging one in the top corner.
Mm.
Like yeah,
And he's small as well, so he's like got
yeah,
that low center of gravity and everything like that. So it's hard to
yeah,
pick up. How do you manage to play against a player like that? Like what goes through your mind during the game?
yeah. I think for me was kind of just knowing where he's at the entire
Mm.
game, because I know a player like him, he likes to find the pockets and behind the midfielders,
Yeah.
and so just kind of knowing where he's at, and so if the ball gets to him quickly, you can kind of press him. But
Mm.
like I said, he's super shifty, and he's definitely going to create space or find space. So I guess just having help from other players on the team to
Yeah.
close him down whenever.
Yeah, you need that. You definitely need that.
Yeah.
Right, next one. Hardest moment in football.
When I got injured, when I was in Orlando, I was supposed to be the starting left back going into the season. The coach came up to me and told me that, like, you're starting the first game of the season at left back. We had a preseason game the week before, and I ended up pulling my hamstring. Was out for like a month and a half, and came back and never got my spot back. So that was probably a tough lesson to learn and to move on from.
Definitely. Do you feel like that's built resilience in terms of the injury?
Oh,
And
definitely.
yeah.
That and it's helped me, I guess, understand the importance of strength training during
Mm-hmm.
the season to kind of stay healthy. Ever
Mm-hmm.
since then, like I've become more knowledgeable with like hamstring injuries and like how to kind of keep on top of that and stuff.
No, yeah, no, it's important. It's important, people. You heard it. You heard it right there. Make sure you maintain your fitness and your strength throughout the season. Right, next one. Um, top 5 players of all time. Your top 5 players of all time.
Ooh,
Say 5-a-side. If you have a 5-a-side team, who's your
mm-hmm.
5-a-side team?
Messi's got to be on there for sure.
Whew. Okay.
Man, I would say defenders probably Puyol. Second one, Busquets in the midfield. I'm only doing recent. I don't know, really old football players, but
You're going for a Barcelona look right there, Tony.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
Barcelona.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
Um,
So you got 3 so far, 2 more spots.
Patrick Vieira is one of
Patrick.
them.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, big Arsenal fan. So, yeah, him, and then the last one, we'll throw Maradona in there.
Maradona. There you go. Maradona, Patrick Vieira. So you got some still in there. Well, you got 2 kind of Puyol, Vieira. Busquets is very intelligent. You know, he can get it ticking, and then Messi just the magician. Well, both. You got 2 magicians, Maradona and Messi.
Yeah.
Whew, that's it. Yeah, that's a tough team. Tough team. Did you ever come across Patrick Vieira?
No, so he was the coach in New York before I got there, and he left as well the year before I got there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's doing incredible stuff at the moment as well with Palace in terms of, you know, playing style. He's changed it up. So looking forward to seeing his development. And I'm a big Arsenal fan myself, so it's good to see Vieira.
Arsenal doing well. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well in terms of the young team that we got at the moment.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of writ us off. Rightly so. You know, no one really felt that was going to do well. But let's talk a little bit about that in terms of players that maybe sometimes people doubt. Do you feel like there's less pressure for them to perform, or do you feel like there's more pressure? What's your take on that?
I think there's less pressure for them to perform. I just think the like the thought process of the young players is like they don't expect much from them. So if they go out there and don't perform, like it's what was expected. And then if they do go out there and perform, it's like, wow, like we didn't expect this. And so there's not really that much pressure. Like there's no expectations when it comes to the young players.
Yeah. No, definitely, man. I think we're doing like Ramsdale. I was one of his biggest critics. Like when he first came, you know, he's been relegated twice, but he's looking like one of our best players at the moment. You know, Tomiyasu, same thing. No one heard of him, and right now he's one of the best right backs. Ben White, you know, I've been to a few games in the Premier League this season. I've been at Brighton a few times, and speaking to their fans, they were saying that, you know, they're well happy that they've got 50 million from a player that, you know, that they don't even feel is their best centre back. You know, they feel that Lewis Dunk is their best centre back. You know, so we've done what Odegaard has come back and he's looking like a new player as well. So, and we know we've had the you know, the what's his name? Aubameyang being stripped off the captaincy as well. That's kind of rejuvenated the players for some reason. I'm not too sure, even though I'm a big Aubameyang fan.
I know, same here.
But we're doing well. Where do you think we're gonna get this season? Top four?
Yeah, I would say top four.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's tough because going into Christmas, Arsenal are going into the New Year, or Arsenal always as well, and then second half of the season is where they slip up. So we'll see if the youngsters can continue that or not continue that trend.
100%. I hope so. Right. Last one for you, Tony. What's the best lesson that you've learned in the last 6 months?
Ooh, I think the last 6 months is the best ability, or the best ability is availability. So this season I didn't play that much, but I kept saying in my mind, like, I'm going to stay healthy, I'm going to continue to train and work, and we had a couple injuries on the team, and so going to the New England game when we were playing the playoffs, I was the one that was called in to go play, and so that was kind of, I've been healthy and available all season and worked hard, and now I can go out there and play in a playoff game to help the team. So I think that's the best lesson I've taken, is just to try to stay healthy, or do as much as you can throughout the entire season to stay healthy, because you never know when your name's going to be called to go out there and perform.
Amazing. I like that. I actually really, really like that. Well, I think that's a good note to kind of end it on there. We can definitely continue, you know, talking for hours and hours and hours. I don't want to take up too much of your time. It's early over there as well. Like I said earlier on, I really appreciate you coming on, sharing a little bit about your journey. And yeah, just, you know, all the best for the new season coming ahead. Hopefully we'll be out there as well and can come to a game and support. And yeah, wish you all the best for the next season coming up, and hopefully retaining champions again next season.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks again for having me on.
No worries at all. No worries at all. And if anyone wants to reach out to you on Instagram, just shout out your Instagram. Right, we'll put it in the description anyway. But you know, shout out your Instagram for the listeners.
It's t.rocha, ROCHA 16.
Brilliant. So there you go, people. Hit him up. Make sure you follow him up. Follow the journey. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, share it out to others as well. And we'll catch you soon. Peace.